Freddie, you've had a very complicated relationship with your body over the years, haven't you?
Yeah. When I was a young lad, I was really tall and skinny. And then in my late teens, I used to like wear a T-shirt under my shirt to try and look bigger. And then I put weight on pretty quick around my 20s. And I was overweight as a sportsman. My diet and drink and things weren't helping.
Yeah.
And it got to the point where I had to lose some weight. You know, I wasn't hitting the targets that were set for me. I wasn't fit enough. And I thought, you know what? I wanted a quick fix. So I'd go out, I'd drink, I'd eat a kebab like the rest of the lads on the way home. And then when I got back, I'd make myself sick. So I started doing that, and it sounds daft to say that I had control of it to some degree, but then before I knew it, it started becoming more regular. I'd eat decent food and then I'd do it. And it came to the point even I'd come off playing cricket at lunchtime and I'd be straight into the toilets. I'd eat my lunch and throw up and then go and play again later that afternoon.
Was that because there was also some sort of emotional release when you did that, as well as just trying to get rid of the food?
There was a bit, but I was getting results. You know, I was losing weight and I was hitting my targets. Everyone's happy with me.
So did you get weighed a lot as a sportsman?
Yeah, you get weighed before you go out. You get weighed when you come off to see how much fluid you've lost. And then...
But you were getting stick in the press as well, weren't you?
Oh, I got hammered. I remember there was a piece in one of the newspapers and Lennox Lewis was fighting at the time. And there was a big spread on one side, Lennox Lewis in his prime, like it was his weight, and we were the same weight but different shapes. And it was Lennox Lewis reached this, Flintoff reached for the pies, and I'd go out and play. And I used to get stick from the crowd. And then it came to the point where we'd be walking around the supermarket and I feel everyone's looking at what I'm putting in my basket. But then it came to a point where I was doing it a lot. I was doing it with most meals for a period of time. And then we got a dietitian came in to speak to the team. And she's gone through the diets and things. And then she mentioned, like, eating disorders. So I thought, you know what, here's my chance now. I'm going to pipe up. And then she said, but I can't imagine there's any of that in here. So it was, so I keep my mouth shut. And it was my wife, actually, who discovered it first. We was in Dubai on holiday, and we went to that fancy hotel, the Burj Al Arab or something. No, it's a 6-star, it costs a fortune.
Burj Khalifa, I think.
And, yeah, we booked in this restaurant, you know, it was early days and I wanted to impress her, so I'll take her there. I won't take her now. we got Nando's. So we go in and we order food, and I remember I got this scallop 3 ways. It was a scallop cut up 3 ways, and then the main course came, there's no to it. And I went in the toilet and threw up. And I came out thinking, I've just paid like 300-400 quid for this, and I'm throwing it up in a toilet. And I thought at that point I'm going to say something. And she could see something wasn't right. And I think once I told her, that was the first part in being able to speak about it and ultimately stop doing it. And she caught me a couple of times at home on the top floor, and then she'd be like,
what are you doing?
Yeah. But that's the thing, isn't it? So often it's the secrecy around these things that will keep you unwell.
But the strange thing about it is you eat like a food group, and then you become to know which food group's quite good to get out, which is easier. And then, even though you're doing it and it's horrible, you've got a toilet in front of you, and it's not your toilet, it could be any toilet, and it's horrible. But you still, and you know it's wrong, and you know you shouldn't do it, and you know all the stuff it'll do to you inside, but something's compelling you.
It's that control, isn't it? Being able to control yourself, to say, yes, I am going to do it, or no, I'm not. Sometimes the losing control to say, I'm going to do it, that's where you get your thrill. That's where you get that sense of achievement. It's the same with not eating. It's the same with anorexia. So I was a huge teenager, and my biggest got to 21 stone. There's the picture of me there. So absolutely enormous. But I was really happy, and I wasn't ever that bothered about my weight. It was everyone else around me that had a problem with it. So, you know, people in the street would call you hubba blubber, because I'm 6'1", I'm quite tall and big. You know, I was, you know, quite monstrous, actually. And so everyone else around me seemed to have a problem, but I had this big personality that could crack the jokes and keep everyone going. So actually, I hid behind that slightly. And then I went off to drama school, and I wasn't very good at it. I was terrible, actually. I was the worst actor in the entire world. But I kind of got there, and all of a sudden I looked around me on the first day, and everyone was this big and beautiful, with glossy hair and fabulous skin and wonderful and creative, and I kind of was this big oaf, and I remember feeling really like, this is not right. I shouldn't be like this. And then very soon after that, I started dieting. Within months, had then reduced my food from normal food. So 3 meals a day, actually was about 27 if I'm very honest. But a lot, you know, enough food down to my smallest, and I've still got my food diary that I kept as a way of controlling, down to 2 spoons of honey a day. Because I kind of worked out in my head, which is completely wrong, that if I had 2 spoons of honey, this carbohydrate, this sugar, could allow me to go to college at 8 in the morning, finish at 6, then have an evening job. And of course it didn't, and I was exhausted and shattered. But it was never about the not eating. And I think it's the same for a lot of bulimics that I've spoken to. It's never actually about the physical throwing up. It's about the intention and then what happens at the end of it. So the more hungry I was, and the weaker I felt, the more that water collected in my shoulder blades here and ice-cold fingers. All of that felt amazing. It felt incredible because all of a sudden...
Very addictive. You sound like somebody talking about a really sort of almost delicious high.
But it was like that because it was all of a sudden, for everything else that was around me that I couldn't be in control of, the fact that I was at drama school with amazingly talented people and I wasn't one of them, the fact that I was in London alone, I'd left my family, we were really close, lots of different contributions to that. I wasn't in control of any of that, but I could control what went into my mouth.